Hey guys, this is Nafis at We Print Apparel, and today we're going to talk about how to get started in the t-shirt business. Okay, what are the essentials that you would need? Okay, most people, they might think you need a whole lot of equipment, but that's not actually true. I want to tell you guys that pretty much in today's climate, all you need is a heat press. Okay, it can be a least expensive heat press, or it can be according to your budget. Okay, now the reason why we say you only need a heat press and not all of the extra stuff is because there are some cool things that's on the market today that help you run an efficient t-shirt business just with a simple heat press. I remember myself, I bought my first heat press back in 2008. No, I did not have the opportunity to actually utilize the heat press to its full potential, and none of these cool things that we're going to talk about today that's on the market was even available back then. So I have ran into a brother because I wanted to start initially printing my own brand, and I was tired of using the middlemen or paying extra bucks just to get certain things done. So I figured, hey, let me get my feet wet into the industry. And so I bought a heat press, and I didn't see any cool videos that were telling me that, okay, you need other things with it. So at that time, I bought my heat press, and I ran into a person, my friend Bilal, who has a silk screen business, and he had this business he's been in this industry for all about 20 years now. And then he was telling me that there was a experience acquired to get into the silk screen industry, and that you had to be pretty much skilled, and it was a learning trade, pretty much like a trade that you have to learn to use the equipment for silk screen. Because I was going to buy me a two-color press. I was going to buy either that, a two-color or four press, and I was like, hey, maybe, he was like, well, what you're going to need is you're going to need a big enough space, you're going to need a dark room, you're going to need screens you're going to have to buy, you're going to have to burn, there's a process, how to use the different stuff that you have to use. And I actually came down to the shop, and he showed me some of the things that I would need. So needless to say, I didn't start my brand back then. I got into other business ventures. But as I re-picked back up and got the spark back going again, back in 2020, I have came across a video where a guy was saying, hey, you want to get into the t-shirt business, all you need is a two pieces of equipment. You need a vinyl. Here you have it. You need a vinyl machine, and you need a heat press. But simply to say, now that I learned, you don't even need a vinyl machine. Okay, you just need a heat press. All right, you're going to need some other things essentially as you pick up, but that's all going to boil down to what is your business objective? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Some people get into this just for a simple craft, a simple hobby, where they call them crafters. Some people get into this for business, and some get into it so they can cut out the middleman and they can print their own brand and print what they want to print. And that's sort of like what I wanted to do. So anyway, without further ado, all you need is a heat press. And the reason why I'm saying that to you guys is because now the cool things on the market is, if you don't have those other machines, you don't have to be a one-stop shop. Kudos to my man Big Brando, who was explaining that all you have to do is buy transfers, and they got many different transfer companies out there. You have to do your necessary research. You have to get your sample packs, which is very important if you're going to use transfers, and I'll explain to you in a minute what is transfers. Okay, so you have to get sample packs. And why do I say that? It's because you want to make sure that the application on the transfer, that it lasts for what they say it's going to last, that when you peel it, it's not going to crack up and things like that. You don't want to make the customer dissatisfied. All right, so transfers, like I said, it can be done in multiple different ways. So they have heat transfer vinyl, sort of like with vinyl that you can actually have heat transfer vinyl that goes on a clear sheet, and it can be moved. They also have silk screen, as you see what I have here, super color, not super color, but I have ultra color soft here on silk screen, and this is actually silk screen. So instead of them putting it onto a garment, they put it onto this type of film paper here that I can just press onto, and that's what we're going to do today. I can just press onto a shirt. Now, me using a heat press to press this still doesn't take away from the fact that that is silk screen. That's a Silkscreen creation. They have what they call direct to film. Okay, they have DTG, direct to garment. So they have all these different types of transfers that's out there and available. Supercolor is one of the leading and most cost efficient transfers that's out there. I was using Stahl's Express transfer for quite some time. I found that their transfers was pretty good, but like I said, you're going to have to do a test. While you do the test, is certain things you're going to have to learn about your heat press. All right, you're going to have to learn about what is the pressure points on the heat press. See this knob here? You turn in here counterclockwise. You have to learn what's your pressure. That's important, because when it comes to your heat press, there are going to be three major things or components that you're going to have to worry about. That's the time, temperature, and pressure. Okay, time, temperature, and pressure. And they have tests out there that you can do where you can place your heat press down and you can place something under it and you can tighten it. Tightness is going to be, and if it doesn't slip out, the piece of paper or whatever you put under there doesn't slip out, then that's the tightness of the pressure. And you have the low pressure. And this is important because when you're dealing with printing or pressing, you have to make sure you use the right time, temperature, and pressure so that it can come out better and the durability can last long. So anyway, so once you learn that's your learning curve of your heat press, you get, and stuff like that, you're going to start learning some cool things. Now, all you have to do is simply press, and I'm going to show you guys how simple this is. Now, part of this process is that you're going to have to learn placement, okay? So what I mean by that is whether or not you're going to put it on the chest, whether it's going to be the right side or it's going to be the left side, is it going to be on the bottom, is it going to be on the back, or is it going to be on the shoulder? These things you have to learn. You have to learn the proper measurements. You can pretty much use different things. I bought some cool kits to help me learn them out, but you're going to learn pretty much a lot as you go from trial and error. And the rule of thumb, if you want to place it on the chest or on the left side or the right side, then they say it's 3 fingers down from the collar. 3 fingers down, not the top, but the bottom collar on the front. Okay, so what I do is my 3 fingers here, or you can use your 3 fingers this way, but let's say we use our 3 fingers there, and we go ahead and place this over here on this side. Now remember, this is ultra color and this is a transfer Silkscreen. Okay, all I'm going to do is use my parch paper, place it over top. All right, they told me my time should be 340. Okay, and it should be medium press. That's going to be my pressure. And they told me it should run normally about 10 to 15. Okay, so let's put it here. This heat press here that I normally do. So sometimes if you have your transfers for a long time, you can just sit them on the side. So it's another thing. You don't have to be bombarded with a bunch of clothes that's already printed up and you can't, not selling and so forth like that. You can just sit these in a box in a nice room temperature, and you okay. And you can do print on demand. All right. So I'm hit it again just one more time, just to make sure it's definitely on there. Alright, pull it out, take my parch paper off, pill. That's simple. Alright, and this is why I say all you need is a heat press. Alright, now if you have orders, you just pretty much make sure that the customer have their artwork. The original file is better because you can get all of the details, the gradients, if it's a color, a full color, or whatever the case like that, of the actual image. So you want to make sure they have the original file. But if they don't have the original file, companies can work around it. There are certain things they can do, but you want to make sure they have the original file, such as EPS or so forth. You want to make sure they have that. All right, and they might don't know what those terms mean or things like that. So you want to make sure whoever doing the artwork for them have that. But if not, like I said, you can send a JPEG or a PNC to most of these transfers company, upload it. It's just about the quality again of the image or of the design that you want that's going to be printed out. So you can order these by gang sheets. As you guys can see, I gang different stuff on here, and the sheets, each image costs on the gang sheet, they might charge you depending on if it's full color or if it's just one color or so forth, and you will place it on there. Now super color is a little bit cooler than this, because super color you can actually use, I actually have a sample of super color right here. So you can see how super color transfers run. All right. And you see how they come in different sizes, okay? And they're very colorful. All right. Let's press the super color. And you can see what I'm saying. Like I said, always get a sample pack so that you can learn exactly what it does, and then also wash it. Okay? Okay. Remember, this is only going to be a throwaway shirt, so this is not. Parchment paper. Press down. Now, also you want to make sure, if you don't have a business structure set up, to how to get your blanks. Okay, if you got a business structure, you can go directly to the company, set up your sales tax and so forth like that, and you can get blanks. You can use Alpha and Broder, SNS Activewear. There are other different companies out there. If not, some people use Jiffy. And these things like that, if you don't have an account or a business structure set up so that you can have a sales tax ID. Okay, so you want to make sure that's what you want to make sure you use. To do. All right, so, and the reason I'm saying is that because you want to make sure you can get premium, because some of your customers might want some real premium shirts that can last. So you want to get some garments and premium shirts that can last pretty kind of good. All right, and that'll pretty much handle that. So as I said before, you only need a heat press, as you see. And you can run your business scaled off of transfers. You don't have to do anything else. Now, if you want to get a vinyl, we'll talk about that in another video, how the vinyl works. It's definitely a tedious process. There are certain things you can do as far as a short order you can do with vinyl, but it's not really made to do heavy bulk orders. So again, you can do that, but there are cooler things that you can do if you want to become a printing business and not just print on t-shirts. And if you want to do hats, you can get a hat press, and we'll talk about that in other videos to come. But I just wanted to share with you guys how easy it is just to get your feet wet into this business nowadays, as far as a t-shirt business, how to get started. All right, I hope that we was able to shed some light on this. Make sure y'all stay tuned to upcoming videos. Again, this is Nafis from We Print Apparels. All right. And as we see, you have to test the samples. So sometimes the pressure got to be even harder. I will have to tighten the pressure up. Sometimes I will have to run it more than what it actually is, so they can come off smoothly without pilling or breaking. And there we go. Parchment paper back. And it's done. Hold this up for you guys. And it feels pretty good. It's kind of hot right now. And again, this is not vinyl, so you can tell a difference between something being vinyl, okay, or sublimated as the ink dyes goes into the shirt. But either way, like I said, all you need is a heat press. and set up the transfers, and you're good to go. Thank you for tuning in. This is Nafis at We Print Apparel.